Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future. John F. Kennedy. Welcome to Progressive Voices of Arizona, a place where people can discuss the issues that affect people all over the nation and look for possible solutions to restore society's humanity. Kick off your shoes, grab yourself a snack and something to drink, and listen in with Scott and Kara, your hosts of Progressive Voices of Arizona.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another brilliant, intelligent, we'll go with intelligent for now, exciting episode of Progressive Voices for Arizona. Colorful? There you go. Because we do use a lot of colorful metaphors during the show.
I would never do such a thing.
Yeah, whatever. All the time.
Whatever.
We are the hosts of Progressive Voices of Arizona. My name is Scott. This is my wonderful wife, Kara.
Ooh. He's just saying that because I'm sporting the Victoria's Secret pretties tonight.
Yeah, and you're sitting next to me and I don't want to get hit. So, yeah, that's how funny things go around here. So, welcome to another interesting show. There's been a lot going on the past week around Arizona, around the nation, and around the world that we want to try to touch on tonight. Hopefully get some feedback from people in the audience who is listening, hopefully, if people are actually listening. So, we have a lot of interesting things over the next few weeks. First off, you can find us on the web at www.provoicesaz.com, which is our website, which most of you are probably actually listening through the website, so you've already gotten there. But for those of you that are listening through Spreaker, you can go to the website. We got YouTube videos up from when we were running for office last year. A couple of other cool, interesting things. We are also on Facebook, Pro Voices AZ, and Twitter, Pro Voices AZ, and I think we're on Instagram, Tumblr, I don't know, pretty much anything that we can actually latch onto, YouTube.
Snapchat.
Anything that we can do, yeah, well, we have some Snapchat, but it's, yeah, that works out real well.
It disappears so quick.
Yeah, I mean, you get to see it for just a few seconds, and then it's gone. into cyberspace. So check us out on the web. Tell your friends, tell your family. We want to bring discussion to people. We are tired of people not being able to have good discourse because of so much animosity based on ideology. Oh,
I had to reboot. I was trying to live tweet, and I went to open my Tweetcaster, and it was like, yeah, you ain't doing that.
Yeah. Well, that does happen. So tonight we have a couple of special guests with us. First of all, we have our recurring guest, Alexa.
Alexa.
How are you today?
I'm good. I hope you're doing well, too.
Aw.
Yeah, so, she's there. And our first guest for the evening is Mike Shipley. Mike is the chair of the Outright Libertarians, and he is the leader of the new nonpartisan political coalition called Grassroots Citizen Concerned, and he's here with us tonight to discuss the initiative to repeal HB 2404, which is meant to prevent initiatives. So welcome to the show, Mike. We're glad that you can join us today.
Thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you for having me on. It's great to be back.
So, Mike, most of us know what HB 2404 is doing. Some people probably don't. So if you could kind of give a rundown on what 2404 is and then what we need to do to stop it.
Sure. So HB 2404, House Bill 2404, was signed by Governor Ducey, I believe, maybe was it last week or maybe the end of the prior week, but within days of it being signed, I had been down there to file the referendum because it does this really heinous thing where it intervenes in the way that the petition circulator industry does its payments, or the way that circulators get paid, right? So
Right.
currently they get paid by the signature, right? So for every signature you get like X dollars.
Right.
And that is going to no longer be the case if this bill goes into law. They would now become paid by the hour. And what that really does, essentially, is how I explain this is, okay, there was already kind of a two-tiered system, right? Like, if
Right.
you were going to circulate, like, on a purely volunteer basis, that was already very, like, a quite challenging task, right? Unless you were able to raise, like, a significant amount of money, then paying circulators was already kind of out of reach. But it was also kind of attainable, right? So, like,
Right.
there was that chance to really succeed, and there still will be if this referendum is successful in blocking the law. But what they did, the legislature, with this bill, is they created like a third tier, even above that, because when you have to pay by the hour, that comes with all of the compliance costs of maintaining a wage, compliance with the wage laws. You know, you have to, like the tax requirements that go along with it, like maintaining I-9s, checking everyone's ID, withholding the wages, producing W-2s at the end. Like, there's like a significant amount of administrative detail that goes into paying people by the hour. So that is essentially like way out of reach for the average citizen. So how I explain it is it creates a third tier, and then it wipes the middle tier out. So it leaves ordinary people like us on that lower tier. So we've got to do it like purely on volunteer basis, which is incredibly difficult, like if not impossible.
Right.
Or we have to figure out how to attain this like new, much higher funding level. That's, you know, I don't know. I don't know which task is more insurmountable. I'm gonna guess it's the money because it's easier to do it myself than to try to get all that money. But that's
Right.
it in a nutshell.
Yeah, and one other thing about this 2404 is this only addresses citizens' petition or initiatives. It doesn't touch candidate nomination petitions at all. They purposely left those out because, you know, they all want to be able to easily get reelected and easily get their signatures. So that was one of the things that the legislature did, is they actually took out or prevented candidate nomination petitions from being included in HB 2404. Funny how that works. If they had to
It's
pay
funny,
hourly
and,
wage
you know,
to get their petitions signed, I bet you $10 they would not have done it. But since they're controlling the law, yeah, we're screwed.
Yeah, you know, I think it really says a lot about the incumbents in this legislature who will be coming up for election in 2018. So just putting that out there that they might want to be on guard. Because what does this tell us about them? This tells us that they believe they are more equal than the people, right? So as you said, they carved out a space where legislation which rises from the people, right, the people that in whose name they serve, have this more difficult threshold to meet. But actual candidate campaigns don't have to meet that standard, right? So they get to keep doing it the old, cheaper way.
Right. So,
And,
for example, like
this
Senator
builds on a
McCain. No. Who's running for re-election? Oh, Flake. Senator Flake. Okay, he can hire professional petition gatherers and pay them by the signature. But if it was a citizens initiative, you have to pay by the hour. So, I mean,
Right.
they purposely
and,
did this to
you know,
us.
It really builds on a pattern that we've seen emerging over the past several legislatures, because we've seen this Republican-controlled House, this Republican-controlled Senate, producing legislation that by various means or another, makes it more difficult for average people, for challengers to emerge. We saw this with House Bill 2305 several years ago,
Right.
which was the last time the people had to do it. Well, I don't know if this is the last referendum ever, but it was the most recent one that succeeded. In fact, to my knowledge, it was the only one that had ever actually succeeded. There have been many referendums, but this was the first one that was going to be on the ballot, that HB 2305, which changed the signature requirements so that it would be more difficult for third parties to get on the ballot. And what happened with that one is that the referendum effort succeeded. It was going to be on the ballot, so the legislature panicked, repealed their own law,
Right.
because if
And
the
screwed
referendum goes
everybody
through, they
up.
can't ever touch that issue again. Yeah, they would have to. So, and then they actually brought back an even more evil version of that, and that did go into law. And we actually, the Arizona Libertarian Party is suing the state of Arizona, and that is in a federal district court right now. But my point is that it's building on a pattern, and we've seen that this legislature truly believes that so it is a society of equals, a bottom of society of equals. It should not be the case that the politicians view themselves as more equal than the people. And unfortunately, what we're seeing from this legislature is that that's not the case. They
Right.
really believe.
And this
They're
is something that we've seen building for a
better
while.
than us.
You know, I mean, they've tried over the past 6 to 8 years at least to reduce the amount of impact citizens can have on legislation. And this is just another step in that direction. Obviously, they believe that they're entitled now because they're obviously just passing stuff that obviously is just against the will of the people and against the betterment of the people based on their ideology. And that's one of the reasons why everybody needs to support this initiative to repeal this law, because it really screws with everybody regardless of political affiliation.
So I just posted in the chat, in the comments, and if everybody's listening on Spreaker, Spreaker.com/user ProVoicesAZ, and you click into the episode there, and you can see the chat comments. I left a link there to HB 2404, so you can look at it yourself. But I want to just kind of because this idea that there's a pattern emerging is really kind of important to focus on, because what we're seeing now is, and of course we're getting into striker season, right? So near the end of the legislative session,
Striking
they start all these zombie bills come back to life, and they strike everything in the whole bill, all of the language out, and they amend it to substitute new language in. So just FYI, Senate Bill 1236, which was previously entitled Psychotropic Drugs Lost to Children Report. I didn't read the text of it because it doesn't matter. They're deleting it. There's going to be a strike everything on this. Now, it says that it's before the Appropriations Committee. It's showing that nothing has happened since April 4th. I'm not seeing that a vote has happened, but that's only 3 days ago, which is like a total red flag. And there's a section on the azleg.gov, azleg.gov website where you can look under, let's see. Oh, I don't have that page open. But there's a tab where you can go through and look at strikers.